You said that there's 78% failure rate out of those drug rehab homes. Why did you succeed when most people don't? Like, what was it?
I can't pinpoint. Like, whatever other powers.
It's a characteristic trait or something that you're born with?
Well, I think what I did was when I got home, that's what I'm saying, other than God, having something to do with it, when I came home, I got rid of all my friends. I didn't go back to the places that I went to. I got rid of my girlfriend. She was still a drug addict. I went to 3 meetings every day, every single day. In the morning, at noon, and at night, I went to a meeting. I was either working on my work or I was working on helping somebody else. And I did that for 5 years, every single day.
How did you get into drugs? Where did that start? Someone introduced you?
Yeah, I was 15 or 16 years old, almost 16 years old. And my dad had died 6 years earlier. So I was already starting to have problems because I was drifting. And school was very slow for me. My uncles, I was hoping somebody would come and mentor me. And it's probably why I give so much time away today, except to Alex. But I did give him time, right? Yeah. I had 3 uncles, and I'm like, okay, I know those guys are going to step in and help me. They were busy. They got their own lives. And nobody stepped in. And I was 16 years old, and a drug dealer stepped in and said, hey, I'll help you. I'll give you attention. This is what you need to learn. And the next thing you know, I'll go down the drug road, man. It was nasty. So for like 9.5 years, I just went south and didn't plan on doing that.
Yeah.
Did it start with like one drug and then lead to like heavier stuff?
It started with weed.
So weed is a gateway drug. I 100% agree.
1,000.
I agree. Yeah. And people in high school, in middle school, they used to clown on it and be like, no, weed's not a gateway drug. You're not just going to go from weed to cocaine. It's like, no. It 100% is a gateway drug. You say it isn't, you will be proven dead wrong, and it's going to be sad.
Dude, alcohol is a gateway drug.
I agree.
If you're around people that have drugs.
Just any mind-altering anything is a gateway to something else.
Anything that compromises your ability to make good decisions. The moment you're like, yeah, okay, maybe it's not that big a deal. I mean, it didn't matter. Like, people are like, hey, what was your drug of choice? What drug do you have? That's the drug of choice at this moment.
Yeah,
it didn't.
Did it ever concern you at that point for like health or like this could kill me?
100.
Or was it just like,
it wasn't my health, dude. It was like, I wasn't thinking about, okay, this is bad for my lungs or bad for my brain. I was like, I couldn't quit. Okay, literally, I started 16, and within a year, I am using some kind of drug every day. I don't know what flip switch, but it also, you walk into this new environment of people, and that's what they're doing, and I was surrounded. We talk, I know you guys talk a lot about your environment, who you hang around, who you spend time with. And I had so much free time as a kid, different than today. I finished that event up the street. You guys, I jump in your car, I come over here. I can't get in trouble today.
Right.
Too busy. I'm too busy to get in trouble.
How were you affording the drug habit back then? Because that seems expensive. Like every day, it's what, $20 bucks?
Yeah, what every drug addict does is they buy enough to use themselves, and then their friends get drugs. You're not using drugs by yourself. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't Whitney Houston.
So you're kind of selling them as well on the side. And
you're just
like
trading drugs back and forth to people. You nobody's really selling anything. It's just everybody's, like me coming here today. Yeah. How do you get on YouTube? How do you get on YouTube? You guys trade favors between one another until you have enough guests to have some content.
So this is kind of a dismal thought, but I feel like I want to know the answer. I hear from a lot of different people that have done drugs, extreme drugs in the past. They say the hardest part about doing drugs is not necessarily the suffering that occurs while you're taking the drug, but it's the difference of perspective and lens that you see life through for the rest of your life, knowing that the pleasure that you can get out of a drug is 10x, for lack of a better, you know what I mean? Yeah. What everything else consequentially will happen in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's not
when you're high on heroin or smack or something. I don't know what smack is, but
so my reality is it is, and no one will ever know until they go down this road. The degradation, the personal loss of self-esteem and disgust with yourself is so immense. And there's nothing, like today, there's nothing attractive about getting high to me.
But like conversely, in order to put yourself through that, the pleasure had to be so immense that it was worth it still, right? Or was it some other chemical thing going on that like...
Yeah, it's a once the body starts consuming something, sugar, alcohol, drugs, the body stores this stuff, and then it says, "Hey, when are you going to feed me, man? Let's go."
That's good to know. I always thought that was kind of a
So, but I don't wake up in the morning saying, "Oh man, I'd love to have some heroin today. It'd be such a great state."
Right.
You know, like all I want to eat every day is helping people. I still want to help people. Like helping people is the greatest high in the world.
Yeah.
And then I want to defend my position with people that think I'm wrong or want to hate on me or whatever. I like that action. That's fun for me. And then I want to create success for myself and my family. So
that's a good
segue.
segue.
My new drug of choice.
That's a good segue because we have some interesting beliefs that you've said about money that I think would make great discussions.
Yeah.
You started by saying $1 million is nothing and you should never take advice from a millionaire.
Yeah.
Could you explain your thoughts on that?
Did I offend you guys?
No, not really. No, we don't get offended. I think it's impossible to offend us.
No, I say these things out of discovery, out of personal discovery, right?
Yeah.
So like when I was taking advice from a millionaire and for millionaires, guys that had made money. And what happens is when a guy goes from nothing and makes $1 million, something immediately changes in this cat. Most of them, not all of them, but the ones that hit millionaire status then go into conservation. And I see this a majority of the time. It is not a minority, but a majority of the time, the guy goes into conservation now that he has money. He's won something, right? He's like, okay, now what do? I got to protect the money. Now I'm going to save money. Now I'm going to get an IRA. I'm going to get a 401k. I'm going to make I'm going to pay my house down. They start storing stuff, and that's not what got them the $1 million.
Couldn't you say that a person who has $1 million, for the most part,
he's as close to broke as you can be.
But they have enough to live a reasonable lifestyle.
But even so, like a 4% withdrawal rate,
$40,000 a year. But let's just say, what if we turn?
He's only got 25 years before he's out of money.
What if we turn the million into?
And it's growing at 7%, you can safely withdraw 4%.
Most of them are not invested. Most of them are sitting in garbage accounts. They don't even know what it's in.
But if you do have $1 million, right, and you allocate that in a way that does give you some form of growth.
Does he have new income?
Does he what?
Does he have new income?
Yeah, for the $1 million, you would.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
because we're assuming they have $1 million invested.
$40,000 a year to live off of. His rent's $2,500 a month. His car's $774. He's broke. And he's worried every day about going backwards.
Right, it is cutting it close. It is cutting it close.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. This millionaire concept has been around for my entire lifetime. I'm 65 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, my entire lifetime, ever since money, millionaire was the deal.
So with inflation,
you haven't considered
it was $1 million today, or when the term millionaire grew in popularity, I think it was the 1920s.
Early 1900s.
And I think adjusted for inflation, that would be the equivalent today of like $17 million.
Holy
it's wild.
It's more like this. Okay.
Yeah. Explain it.
In 1958, when I was born, $1 today is worth 10 cents. So that is 10x. Mm-hmm. Okay, so $1 million in 1958, you would need $10 million today. Now you get to $10 million. Now you have a little bit of like, okay, I'm cool.